That's about as far into it as I think it should go. Unless it's going to be a miniseries thereafter where we get into, dating Tupac, etc. But if it were just 1983 to 1990, the Immaculate Collection era, that to me seems comprehensible.
Louis, if you think I want to see a miniseries about Madonna dating Tupac, get the fuck out of here.
Welcome to Keep It, Cricket Media's show about pop culture and politics and what happens when they smack into each other at an alarming speed. I'm your host, Ira Madison III, a television writer and Fall Out Boy fan.
I'm Louis Virtel. I'm a TV writer and Jane Fonda historian.
And I'm Aida Osman. I'm a TV writer and alleged comedian.
Let's get into it.
Your favorite filmmaker, Madonna, is set to direct and co-write the biopic of her life. But who will play the Queen of Pop herself? They're looking at a pretty diverse pool of starlets, including an American blonde, an Australian blonde, and a British blonde. And they're apparently undergoing a grueling boot camp to seal the deal. Let me expand on this a bit. So Julia Garner, who we know from Ozark and her performance as Bjork in Inventing Anna. Florence Pugh, our queen. If you haven't seen Lady Macbeth yet, by the way, frighten yourself. Enjoy it. Odessa Young from Mothering Sunday. Emma Laird, mayor of Kingstown. Apparently Sky Ferreira is in the mix, So lots of familiar candidates.
I know you didn't just leave out Bebe Rexha.
Albania's own. I feel bad about it.
You know what? I'm starting to think that you are not a bad bitch and a Rex R, Louis.
Do bad bitches collaborate with Florida Georgia Line? I don't know. I don't know. According to this story, several things are going down here. There are 11-hour dance sessions to make sure that the performer in question can do all of Madonna's moves or whatever. Couple questions. One, was it really 11 hours or did Madonna show up 8 hours late? That's my question. Because, Madonna's sitting there with her monocle from the Express Yourself video, inspecting all of these girls up and down, like the meanest casting director of all time.
I'm imagining it's the Cold Hearted Snake music video.
Oh, yeah, which is a reference to All That Jazz.
Yeah.
So we're wondering what's up with that. Madonna, I guess, confirmed that Florence Pugh is a top contender. She's definitely up there on the list if she'll have me, Madonna told the Associated Press. Oh, we love humility from Madonna. What honestly, a shrinking violet she is. Yeah.
Honestly, Florence would be the best choice for me. Florence Pugh
me too.
She's just sort of it. And she managed to step into Black Widow, and granted, Scarlett Johansson was sleepwalking through that film, but she was running circles around Rachel Weisz.
Right, who sort of has the, Rachel Weisz is somebody who has like a silver screen legendary intrigue and sex appeal, so that is
right.
Very shocking.
If you're running circles in a film, like Rachel Weisz is the gym teacher, okay? But, but Florence Pugh outshowed everybody in that film. She's just been mesmerizing in every fucking thing that she's been in. I actually miss her on screen.
I also think she has a critical sauciness that Madonna has, which I can't say about Julia Garner. I think Julia Garner seems like somebody brilliant acting student, somebody who can take on a personality and pull out quirks and come up with something interesting. But Florence to me has that resting X Factor, dare you challenge me thing that Madonna has.
I mean, you sort of have to have that if you decided the love of your life is Zach Braff.
Right. I get. Oh, and bad taste in men. Bad taste in men. You came to the right biopic.
And she is very much. That's my man. Right. And I'm gonna stick beside him.
Actually, I guess we like him. Right. He's perfectly fine.
We like him. It's just sort of it seems very much like CBS sitcom casting. She is just so young and vibrant and at the start of her career. And Scrubs aired on Nick at Night TV Land in the 80s.
Head of the class, Scrubs. Yeah.
I wonder if it is residually people still resenting the fact that they liked Garden State. Because if you remember, that was so many fucking people's favorite movie when we were growing up.
Freshman in college. Everybody had that fucking soundtrack. Yeah.
And then as soon as we all graduated and adulthood started, everyone acts as if like they hated that film.
Right. But it's a perfectly engaging movie, you know. It's definitely of its time, but
I personally have never seen it.
Interesting. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
We all have our blind spots. We can explore that one week. I'm annoyed by the amount of takes on Twitter I'm seeing currently of people being like, reading all the grueling things these girls have to do in this audition, being like, why does this person have to sing and dance better than Madonna? It's like, first of all, can you quit the fucking 1988 Jay Leno jokes about how much talent Madonna has? Madonna is a legendary dancer. Please. The way she danced on screen, watch her fucking debut on American Bandstand. It is no joke. Everybody in that room is like clutching their face. They can't believe how hot and cool she is as she's just casually, not choreographed, dancing around a room. Actual dancing ability, not, you know, I'll slam her again, Dua Lipa-ing across the floor and counting the steps as we point and gyrate. Secondly,
we are never going to be guest hosts on At Your Service at this point, Lewis.
And secondly, guys, Madonna is a perfectly adequate vocalist. I've never listened to a Madonna song and being like, God, I really wish she sounded like fucking Celine Dion on Take a Bow. Yeah. Also, an emotive vocalist. You really like when you listen to Madonna on Crazy for You, that's a relatable person.
No, I mean, I think, honestly, we're going to get to this in Why Keep It, which is about people who discredit beloved pop stars and have, like, bad opinions about them. But no, I will always say that Madonna delivers on a track.
Yeah. Right.
She gets you exactly what you fucking want, you know? You want a Madonna song, and she is crafted, like, saying whether or not someone has the range, you know? You can also say, like, whether or not someone, like, has a lane, and she carved her own fucking lane, and it's gorgeous.
Just like, it's like Rihanna or something. Rihanna, not, you know, Maria Callas, but when that voice comes on, I'm zapped into her universe exactly. Again, something that I think nobody else could do that Madonna did early in her career. Think of the song Lucky Star. There's the chorus, and then think of the horny noises she makes. The yeah, like that's so specific to her. The like in your face, basically bragging that I'm horny thing she can do on a track. You know, that was like explicitly carnal in a way that pop stars never were before that.
Also, the amount of pop stars who have fucking been inspired by her. I mean, at this point, you know, like just give it up. You know?
So yeah, anyway, it's a lame lane of jokes. Y'all know I'm a stan. You know Ira's a stan. We've all clarified that. Anyway.
I want to know who is running the boot camp, though, because I know Madonna is not. Is Lorian Gibson up in there?
I was wondering if it was maybe a Sonia Taya person, maybe. Who in the So You Think You Can Dance universe is doing it? And by the way...
Mandy Moore, parentheses, choreographer.
Emmy winner, Mandy Moore. Yes. No shade to our friend Mandy Moore, who deserves an Emmy. And also, the screenwriting situation on this is, of course... very strange. As you know, our pal Cody.
I wish Diablo was still up in there, but I'm actually glad that she's not because Diablo might be dead.
Right. I mean, so I was sort of on the inside track of that because Diablo's our pal, and at the time, I normally wouldn't spill anything about it, but Madonna then put it on Instagram. She would film them writing. And, you know, writing's a very, like, private process. So that was sort of strange to be witnessing her and Diablo coming up with ideas on camera. But now she is exited, and the writer of Secretary, which is a kick-ass movie, is now the screenwriter on this.
Aaron Cressida Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Who we will forgive for writing The Girl on the Train.
Secretary is a movie that makes you forgive other movies. I totally agree. But... I'm really curious now what the arc of this movie is going to be. There's a rumor in this article that it culminates with the Blonde Ambition tour, and that's about as far into it as I think it should go. Unless it's going to be a miniseries thereafter where we get into, you know, dating Tupac, etc. But if it were just 1983 to 1990, the Immaculate Collection era, that to me seems comprehensible.
Lewis, if you think I want to see a miniseries about Madonna dating Tupac, get the fuck out of here.
There should be
a
series
just left Black History Month, okay?
You could do an entire show about Madonna's quote-unquote friendships with Black people she brags about having known. Have the Basquiat Day. Have the Tupac Day.
Every episode is from the perspective of the Black person.
Yes.
And somehow Madonna pops up. Like Basquiat's just like at the studio painting, and Madonna pops by, and he's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, we
she's
met
like,
once.
I just thought I'd hang out.
Give me the Nicki Minaj episode where she's like, "All right, I'll do a second track with you. All right, whatever."
Do you think I could get on the blacklist if I wrote Madonna Basquiat?
It's like WE. Yeah.
You know what? I'm excited for the film. I hope Florence Pugh gets it, but I also know that it is going to be a train wreck. You know how I know it's going to be a train wreck? If she couldn't even lure Jeremy O. Harris into writing this film with her, you know it's going to be a train wreck.
Jeremy O. Harris, maybe nobody has been more attracted to chaos in human history. So you're right. That is a big question mark.
If he had a That's So Raven flash to the future and was like, I'm good.
I will share one story I remember about Diablo. When she initially accepted the offer to meet with Madonna, whoever was setting it up at the studio like briefed her on Madonna, and Brooke's like a kid of the 80s, so she knows all about Madonna intensely, an intense fan of Madonna's. The people talking to her go, "Oh, you may not know this, but like once upon a time, Madonna was like the biggest star in the world. She was actually married to Sean Penn." And Brooke's joke, or Diablo's joke to me was, "Excuse me, I flew the helicopter over that wedding."
Honestly, you know what one thing I want to come out of this boot camp is? Like an old school VHS tape. Like Tybo,
Yeah.
Billy Blanks, Darren Stan Screws, like release the Madonna boot camp choreography, because that would be the hell of a workout.
No kidding. Also, by the way, some behind the scenes action too. I want to see Julia Garner crying as she attempts to Vogue.
And we're back with our favorite segment of the episode. It's Keep It. Lewis, what's going on?
Unfortunately, it's not my favorite segment this week because I'm already so sick of this brouhaha. But man, keep it to whatever is going on at the Academy. And God knows all I care about is the Academy Awards. So for me to say this feels like I'm betraying my sister, you know. But
not sister.
I know. Can you believe I said that? I'm shocked.
Madonna, Tupac, and now you saying sister? Where's Aida? You are getting out of pocket.
This is why she fled.
I leave LA for 1 week.
Right. So the Academy has famously announced they want to cut certain technical categories from the broadcast. Everybody is reacting poorly who is a fan of the Oscars. A couple of things are occurring. One, it just feels like this day of reckoning was going to come where either the network hosting the Oscars or the Oscars themselves basically realize they don't know why they're popular and start making new rules to ensure that to bring in people who don't care about the Oscars, and that's never going to work. I don't think there's such a thing as bringing in people whose primary association with cinema is only superhero movies. They just have nothing in common. The worlds of like superhero blockbusters and the Oscars. Once upon a time, you got a lot more mainstream movies that bridged prestige and audience appeal. I'm not saying those don't exist anymore, but movies like Titanic used to be like more regularly occurring. And now,
no,
you know,
I feel like largely the problem with the Oscars and luring in like new audience members is the fact that, one, the Oscars has always been for people who, you know, like aspire to be a part of the cinema.
Yeah.
You know, like people growing up in, you know, like smaller towns in America who are like, hey, I want to be in the movies someday, and they watch the Oscars every year. Or two, people who just sort of like love like movie making and they love like cinema, etc. Like they don't necessarily need to be a part of it, but they love like watching the Oscars and shit like that, and award shows. Three, people who love stars and celebrities.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem is with Hollywood, because Hollywood isn't making films like that anymore.
No,
like
right.
like a Titanic would not be fucking made right now, and movies that sort of have that big appeal with like a star or something like are just going to be like thrown on Netflix now. You know, they're not going to feel like it's like a major event. This Oscars is interesting because you know you have Will Smith as like a front runner, you know,
Yeah.
but it's like there should be movies with like Will Smith, Reese Witherspoon, you know, like even like Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz being in the Batman is like a big deal now, but it's being released like so early on that it's not going to be like an Oscar contender or something, you know? But like there aren't movies like an Aaron Brockovich or...
Yeah, Aaron Brockovich is sort of what we're talking about here. Where like the star leads it, they get to do something extraordinary for their brand, and also the movie is good, and so it winds up getting Oscars. This whole thing to me feels like if the people running Jeopardy said, well, you know what would make more people watch the show is if we had only multiple choice questions. Like, it's like, no. It's good because it's hard. It's good because people are excluded. It's good because certain people don't get it and certain people really get it. You know, that's why there's a fervor over it. You know, there's a level of taste involved and a level of achievement that, you know, really entices a certain kind of viewership and leaves out other people. But leaving out other people makes it good. Yeah, I'm just worried. I was happy Steven Spielberg spoke out because, well, now they're going to fucking pay attention, you know? So
I really feel like it's this problem with not wanting to make films that have a star leading them anymore. If you're busy making a film that's going to like work for an algorithm,
right.
You're not going to have that anymore.
Which, by the way, makes me think about how rare someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is now. Because people, I think, still are obsessed specifically with him and seeing a movie because he is in it. And everybody else is sort of dwindling away. Like, Sandra Bullock has a movie coming out with Channing Tatum, and I'm like, will this play? It doesn't seem like an obvious hit to me.
Right, and I feel like the biggest people who are sort of like that right now are Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Right.
And Zendaya,
Tom Holland, that's true.
And Zendaya, most people tune in to see her either like in a supporting role in the Spider-Man movies or Euphoria. You know, like where is her big blockbuster film? You know, like Malcolm and Marie was cute. It was COVID, but I'm like, Zendaya should be fucking leading films. Like they should be making her the next Julia, Sandra, Halle, you know, like go with some fucking star power. And Tom Holland, I don't know, probably just needs a new agent because every film that he does tries to replicate, I feel like the Spider-Man thing, like Uncharted. Who's going to see that?
No. We have to have a full powwow here about bringing star power back just to life. I think we can solve it on this podcast, but it's going to require an entire episode. So anyway, Ira, what is your keep it this week?
So my keep it this week involves the fact that recently, like clips from the 2009 classic Obsessed have been circulating on social media.
The Ali Larderverse, yes.
Specifically, I think it was Rose Dambu, like tweeted out a clip from Obsessed where it was like, this is the greatest line reading in movie history. It's when Beyonce thinks that Idris is having an affair with Ali Larder, and she tells him to
get your ass out.
And go where, Sharon?
To hell. But until then, I suggest maybe the Four Seasons.
And it started making me think about that movie and how people in general say that Beyonce is a bad actress. And my keep it is the people who think Beyonce can't act. Because watching that film, she's fucking phenomenal in it. And I would say that she honestly makes me feel every emotion that character is supposed to be feeling. And I would argue that because she does so many music videos, I would largely think that Beyonce is really good at carrying an emotion and making you feel the emotion that she's feeling, and you can see it on her face. And I kept thinking about one of my favorite critics, like Angelica Jade Bastion, who always reminds us that film is not about driving plot forward. Film is a visual fucking medium. That's why we love movies. You know, TV is more about plot and dialogue. Film is a visual medium, and who better than to be on our screens than Beyonce with her very emotive face driving a movie forward.
Very good. I will say about that movie, when you watch it from the beginning, from what I remember, it's been a few years since I've seen it, you almost wonder why Beyonce took the role, because she's sort of not in it or not doing much. And then as the movie intensifies, suddenly Beyonce starts getting amazing dialogue. Like it's almost like a whole new character emerges, basically, or maybe even like they reshot stuff months later to make sure she got some one-liners in. I'm not sure, but in those moments, you're gripping the desk and really in love with her.
If you're talking about star power, that is a film that lets Idris do his thing in the beginning of the movie, and then becomes like a fucking vehicle for Beyonce through like the last 2/3 of the film.
Right. Well, I mean, it's also, the closest thing we have to a precursor to Lemonade, right? That kind of rage.
Yeah.
So, wow, has that argument been made? I'm happy to make it.
I mean, she is headbutting Allie Larder when she is answering the phone.
Derek, I'm gonna call you back.
I just think that Beyonce is underrated as an actress. Here, I said it.
Well, and I think also maybe underrated funny. Like for instance, like on the Savage remix, there are a couple of lines in there where I presume she wrote them because the delivery is giving me LOL.
She was always fucking funny in interviews before celebrity became too much, and she was like, I would actually rather not see any of you anymore.
Right. No, this is the Janet Jackson way out. Yes.
Yeah. She did it. Rihanna did it. The only reason Rihanna can't hide now is because she's pregnant.
Right. Rihanna really should do more interviews, though. Come on, that's a funny person. It annoys me.
You know what my favorite thing about Rihanna is? How she has rehabilitated her image so much. Because
True.
if you remember the fact that this bitch used to bully everybody on the internet, she would be in the comments calling fans trash. She would be arguing with other celebrities, like truly like mocking celebrities for no reason too, just because she was bored.
Right.
Like she was a mean girl.
I will say on that note, I have never liked the comment to Sierra. It's too fucking mean. It's like, also, it's like, you have to, it's like, the joke is what Sierra's not that popular or whatever. It's like, honestly, is that Sierra's fault? Sierra's fucking amazing. So it just felt extremely low. I'm trying to think of other Beyonce performances that are worth shouting out. I wonder if that Austin Powers performance holds up. She's got to be funny in that, right?
Foxy Cleopatra, she's hilarious as Foxy Cleopatra. And I think she was good in Dreamgirls. Honestly.
She was good. I think the problem with that movie at the time was it was really hyped up to be the musical experience of a lifetime. And obviously Jennifer Hudson gave the great musical performance she did and good acting. But the movie to me felt limp overall. Like,
well, Dina's really not a part of Dreamgirls. I mean, she's sort of like the quote unquote villain. I think that she's defanged a bit in the film. Listen is sort of like an amalgamation of like a song that's in the stage version where it's sort of like Dina and Effie going back and forth with each other. And I think that the movie really sort of misses a chance where like Beyonce and J Hud like go head to head.
Right. But that would, of course, require some potential unlikability on Beyonce's part. And I think that's where they held back.
Probably so. But yeah, I don't know. I support my girl.
I, of course, have never seen Cadillac Records, so if anybody wants to tell me how that was.
She's good in Cadillac Records, and she's also good in The Fighting Temptations.
Right. We don't even have to bring up Carmen, a hip hopera. That's a legacy that speaks for itself.
You know what? I'm going to let Carmen, a hip hopper, go.
Well, I mean, we all did. We had to. So.